I found one.
Yay! I found a cat hair.
It may not surprise you to learn that I got some rocks for Christmas. And not just one rock, but a whole box of them. This here is a box of unsorted sapphire gravel, or potentially sapphire-bearing gravel from Gem Mountain in Philipsburg, Montana. It comes in a large priority mail box, flat rate shipping, so it's pretty simple. They just shovel some gravel into a bag and plop it in the box and ship it to you. Doesn't come with a shovel. As you can see, it's dirty and we'll have to clean it up, sort it a bit, and see if we find anything good. And thanks to my in-laws for the gift. So let's go clean this up. Or maybe not. Since it's frickin' freezing outside, we'll have to reuse some buckets and just wash things indoors here. Oh, here we go. Everything's all cleaned up. And I suggest you not be a chump like me and sift this a little bit, separate it out by grade and size first before washing it, because there's going to be a lot of very small particles stuck to the rocks that I'll have to separate out later. So that'll be kind of annoying. And I kind of poked around a little bit as I was sifting and washing, but didn't see any sapphires jumping out at me, so may not have that 4-carat sapphire in here. I'll settle for 1 though. Now you would think I might have some classifiers on hand, but I do not. And in fact, I just have this 1/2-inch sifter that I made. I might have one other thing to sift through, but we'll get through the 1/2-inch first. Just go through it. There's not going to be anything this big. There's a big piece of quartz, and that's probably the most interesting thing in here. Now I have the greater than 1/2 inch sorted out. Have everything less than 1/2 inch in the bucket right down here. So the only other thing I have right now is this, which is a 1/4 inch holes drilled into a cat litter pan that I use for sorting out the cat's litter, because we use the pine stuff that turns into sawdust when they use it. Start out with just a little bit because I don't know how well this is going to work, but there's an underlying pan to catch things that fall through so it doesn't go everywhere. And I think we'll use ear protection. So that worked okay. Alright, so we got our between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch gravel here, which is actually quite a lot of it. I spread this out. Got my tweezers, pull up a chair. Sure, I could go out and get a Saruka or something and do it the proper way if you go to the Gem Mountain website, or if you go to Gem Mountain itself, they have a whole technique of, getting the sapphires down into the bottom middle of a saruka or a sifting pan like I was using, but a proper one. And then you flip it over, and because the sapphires are heavy, there's one. A little greenish yellow. This is a pretty typical color for a sapphire from Gem Mountain. I don't have a place I didn't expect to find one right now. Maybe you saw them before I did. And I should be more systematical in my approach here, but we're just doing a quick survey. Because really this should be done out in the sun. Maybe this blue background isn't the best way to find a sapphire. You know what? I think we can do better than this. Let's make it complicated. So here's where I'll leave it for tonight to let these dry out a bit. This is the less than a 1/4 inch fraction, and then on the other side of this divide is the 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch fraction. Of course, I had to take one last look and found this guy right at the edge. Of course, it won't focus because that looks pretty clear. Not bad, not big, but not bad. And I think there was one just to the right of it, or something of interest. And nope, that was just a regular rock. Oh, over here, this is the one. That nice and clear, or reflective one, which, let's move it over here. Put them over, they can be friends. So there's a little bit of a blue, light blue green, and then a little darker green next to it. So this is what I found so far before I force myself away. That's kind of what we're looking for, is
Greenish.
a lot of them are going to be this kind of light green, and they'll have a little bit of sparkle to them, like quartz or glass. There are going to be some other small white, if they're really cloudy, they might be zircons.
Okay.
But it's probably better to err on the side of finding too much.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
then you
you're
can
just
use
kind of-
tweezers to... So what I've been doing is go along and kind of brush things aside. If something looks glassy, take a closer look. It should be fairly clear like those ones are.
Okay.
And what's this here? On the tip of the yellow thing there.
Right here. Ooh, it's translucent.
Yeah, it might be quartz, but we'll take it.
It's the closest we've got for a bit.
Yeah, there may just not be much in here. It is a gamble. It's a geologist lottery ticket. Well, I don't think we're going to be able to retire off of this.
Oh man. Who's counting on it?
What's this?
There?
There's that one, and then right at the end of my finger there, to the left.
This
Or is
one?
that just
Oh.
water? Yeah, right there.
It's kind of yellowy.
I think that one's a sapphire.
Ooh.
Pretty clear. A little small, but bending over.
This one.
I wasn't recording when you found your first big sapphire.
It's okay. Are we sure that's one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Found
It's
it.
got a little bit of yellow coloration in the middle, which is
Okay. I can pretend to find it again. I found one.
that was a pretty good size small one. some percentage of them will fluoresce, although those ones that we have found.
There's maybe a little bit on that guy.
I see like a purple sheen coming off of that when you do it right, but that just may be the light is a little purple.
Oh, I see what you mean.
There's maybe a little bit of green on the other side of that one. You just kind of do a quick scan over some of it.
Oh, that one.
That's the tarp.
Dang it!
Yeah. I feel like there's something over here that's... Is that a crystal or is that a...
I don't know.
I've noticed some of the host rock fluoresces that blue too. Little slivers. This is what we picked up.
That's not translucent.
That one's new. That one's new. How about that one? Oh, I think that little fiber on the top. What was translucent? No, broke off, I think.
Okay.
So, nope.
Oh well.
So what's baby girl's first geology lesson going to be, do you think? She'll be really good at looking rocks initially. That's the first geology lesson.
What does this rock taste like? Now that the camera's on, we're not finding anything.
We're just talking about licking rocks.
So it's more bitter. Yay.
Okay.
So the thing with the sapphires, a lot of them come out like this, and you can do heat treating to change their color if you don't like the way that they look. And so what they'll do is a two-step process where first they'll raise it up to like 1400 degrees for a little bit, and that will typically enhance the color that's in there, if there is much for one. So if there's like a little bit, that one that has a little bit of yellow on the middle, that one might turn a brighter orange or yellow.
Okay.
And if they don't have good color still, they do a second heat treating where it's what they call the blue burn, and that typically turns most of them blue.
Makes sense. Does it enhance the color by like breaking down chemicals in them?
It redistributes the inclusions that are in there. So a lot of these are a little bit hazy. They're not perfectly clear. And that's, in a lot of cases, rutile or ilmenite maybe. Some like titanium oxides. And if you heat it up enough, like the melting point for sapphires is above 2000 degrees, like 2400. So it's nowhere near the melting point of that, but it is for ilmenite and rutile. So those get melted and redistributed, and both enhance the clarity and the color. Yeah. But then it's a matter of, it's been treated, so is it a natural stone anymore? Is it still as valuable? In a lot of cases, a natural stone that hasn't been treated will be worth more than a heat-treated stone.
Yeah, I can see that. Maybe it seems a little like cheating to get better clarity with technology.
Yeah.
Instead of just letting Mother Nature do all the work.
Although, for the most part, if you go into a jeweler store,
They're mostly heat treated.
Most of them are heat-treated.
Well,
Because it makes them look prettier.
Yeah. And to keep up with demand, I'm sure they have to.
And they buy a lot of less good stuff and then make it worth something, which then is that trade-off of no one would buy it if
it wasn't heat treated.
wasn't heat treated.
Yeah.
I found one.
Yay! I found a cat hair. How'd that get in there?
It's right here. If you would grab it, please. Pretty good one. Probably could be even closer. Here's where we'll end it for today. After just hand-picking, I forgot already, 10 or so, 11 sapphires. Pretty much all of them green, except for that one in the back that's a little bluish. I don't have a precise gem scale, but I do have a kitchen scale. And so we'll measure the big one, which does not, barely registers. So it's, maybe they rounded it up to a gram. That would be, 1 gram is 5 carats. So that could be big. For comparison, on my scale, a penny weighs 2 grams. And we'll put all the stones on here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on there, and it's still not registering a gram. So these are all very small. This is a bigger one. Didn't push it up to a gram. That one didn't either. Let's see, we'll maybe center it. Okay, so all of those did not register a gram on this scale. And this one didn't either. So I have no idea what these weigh.